On April 8, 2025, New Mexico became the latest state to adopt PFAS-related legislation. The new law directs the New Mexico Environmental Improvement Board, or the EIB, and the New Mexico Environmental Department, the NMED, to adopt rules that prohibit certain products from containing intentionally added PFAS, require disclosures and potential testing of products sold within the state, and establish associated penalties for noncompliance. By January 1, 2027, manufacturers of products containing intentionally added PFAS will be required to report to the NMED. However, this reporting requirement does not apply to products listed under the exempted product categories or those designated with currently unavoidable uses. Now, the required reporting information is very similar: brief description of the product, the proposed PFAS used in the product, the amount of each PFAS, of course, contact information, but one little caveat: any additional information deemed necessary by the NMED. Now, New Mexico has built upon the legislation from earlier states by expanding the list of exempted product categories. New Mexico is learning from the earlier states, such as Maine and Minnesota, and placing these exemptions from the outset of the legislation. Notable exemptions relevant to EEE sectors include, again, medical devices, cooling, heating, and refrigerating equipment, motor vehicles and their parts, semiconductors, and the equipment and material used in their manufacturing, non-consumer electronics and laboratory equipment that are not intended for personal or home use, and products used in the generation, distribution, and storage of electricity, such as inverters or batteries. A surprising exemption is product containing fluoropolymers, which this is the first time a state has exempted fluoropolymers, which could be taken as a sign that New Mexico sees these as a different class of PFAS and has exempted them from the reporting requirement. Now, New Mexico's phased-in prohibition on products containing intentionally added PFAS will begin on January 1, 2027. The initial restrictions apply to products such as cookware, food packaging, dental floss, firefighting foam, and juvenile products. That would cover such items like car seats, clothing, and toys. Now, these prohibitions do not extend to electronic products such as computers, tablets, gaming consoles, and peripheral devices. Then the next phase will take place a year later on January 1st, 2028, and that will include the similar categories such as carpet, rugs, cleaning products, and other items that you see there. The final phase of New Mexico's prohibition takes effect again on that magic date, January 1st, 2032. Again, beginning on this date, manufacturers will be prohibited from selling any product containing intentionally added PFAS in the state. But unless the product falls under an exemption outlined in the legislation, or the EIB has adopted a rule designating the use of PFAS in that product as a currently unavoidable use. Now, the EIB is authorized to adopt rules to identify and designate specific currently unavoidable use applications as needed. So with the PFAS Protection Act now signed into law, the EIB and the NMED will begin developing their rules and their regulations and reporting mechanisms to implement and enforce the statute's provisions ahead of the established deadlines. Manufacturers and other potential impacted businesses are strongly encouraged to closely monitor the rulemaking process, engage in the public comment periods. Now, GreenSoft will do our part, and will continue to monitor New Mexico and the other U.S. states for ongoing PFAS developments.
Watch the full-length video and gain access to our full archive of educational webinars at greensofttech.com/videos. And while you're there, learn about our premier solutions for environmental regulation compliance.